People always say curiosity killed the cat. But in Black Hollow, curiosity did worse than kill. It watched you first. It waited. Then it showed you something so terrible, so impossible, so unforgettable, that once your eyes took it in, they never saw anything else again. The old house at the end of Briar Road had been empty for 23 years. No lights, no owners, no footsteps, no sound except the wind pushing through broken windows like something whispering through dead teeth. Everybody in town knew the story. 3 teenagers went inside one night on a dare. Only one came back. And when they found him standing in the middle of the road at sunrise, his eyes were wide open, bleeding. He kept saying the same words over and over again. What we saw. Then he screamed and never spoke again. 23 years later, 4 friends decided the legend was fake. Marcus, Jalen, Bree, and Tasha had grown up hearing about the Briar Road house. They laughed at it, made jokes about it, called it a ghost story for people scared of the dark. So on Halloween night, with a phone camera, 2 flashlights, and a bottle of cheap courage, they walked through the rusted gate. The house looked dead. But the moment Marcus touched the front door, something inside touched back. The door opened by itself. No creak, no warning, just open, like the house had been expecting them. Jalen laughed first. Nah, that's fake, somebody playing. But his voice cracked when he said it. Bree lifted her phone and started recording. For the views, she whispered. Tasha looked at the doorway and shook her head. We shouldn't be here. Marcus smiled. That's what makes it fun. They stepped inside. The air changed immediately. Outside, the night was cold. Inside, it was colder. Not winter cold, grave cold. The kind of cold that feels like it knows your name. Their flashlights cut across peeling wallpaper, broken furniture, and family portraits with the faces scratched out. Every single face, gone, except the eyes. The eyes were still there, watching. Bree pointed her camera at one painting. Why would somebody scratch out the faces but leave the eyes? Nobody answered. Then somewhere upstairs, a floorboard groaned. One step, then another, then another. Slow, heavy, coming toward the stairs. The 4 friends froze. Jalen whispered, "Who's up there?" The house answered. A child's voice came from the darkness above. "You are." Nobody moved. Then every door in the house slammed shut at once. Boom. Bree screamed. Marcus dropped his flashlight. Tasha ran for the front door. It would not open. Tasha grabbed the handle again. It burned her palm. She cried out and fell backward. The door had no lock, no chain, no deadbolt, but it would not open. Jalen grabbed a chair and smashed it against the window. The glass didn't break. Not cracked, not chipped, nothing. Like the house wasn't made of wood and glass anymore, like it was alive. Then Bree's phone began to ring. No caller ID, just 3 words. Do not look. She stared at the screen. What the hell? The ringtone stopped. Then every phone rang at the same time. Marcus looked down. Do not look. Jalen looked. Do not look. Tasha looked. Do not look. Then the upstairs hallway light flickered on. A single yellow bulb, swinging, slowly, back and forth, back and forth. At the top of the stairs stood a woman in a white nightgown. Her hair covered her face. Her hands hung far too low, almost to her knees. And behind her stood dozens of people, men, women, children, all perfectly still, all missing their eyes. Tasha started crying. Bree whispered, "Turn around." But Marcus couldn't move. Neither could the others. The woman lifted one finger, pointing directly at them. Then the crowd spoke in one voice. "You came to see." The lights went out. When the flashlights came back on, the stairs were empty, but the portraits had changed. Marcus stared. The paintings now showed them. Marcus, Jalen, Bree, Tasha. Their faces hung on the walls like they'd always lived there. Marcus backed away. No, 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 no. Then his portrait blinked. Jalen screamed. They ran deeper into the house. The hallway stretched longer than before. Doors appeared where no doors should have been. The walls seemed to breathe. From behind every door came voices. Their mothers, their fathers, dead relatives, old friends, people they loved, people they feared, all whispering, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." Tasha covered her ears. "Don't listen!" But Bree stopped, because one voice belonged to her little brother, the brother she'd lost years ago. "Bree," the voice whispered, "I'm scared." Tears filled her eyes. Marcus grabbed her arm. "That ain't him." But the voice cried again, "Please don't leave me." Bree pulled away. "I have to see." Tasha screamed, "Don't open it!" But Bree opened the door. Inside was a room filled with mirrors, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, hundreds of reflections. And inside every reflection stood her little brother, smiling. But the smile was wrong, too wide, too empty. His eyes were black. He lifted his hand. Bree lifted hers. He stepped closer. So did she. Marcus reached for her. Too late. The mirrors whispered together. She looked. Bree screamed. The lights flickered. When they returned, Bree was gone. Only her phone remained, still recording. Jalen picked it up. On the screen, Bree stood behind them, but when they turned around, nothing was there. Then Bree spoke through the phone, softly. "Come see." Jalen dropped it. Tasha was sobbing. "We have to get out." Marcus nodded. The basement. At the end of the hallway stood a basement door, already open. Below waited darkness and the smell of wet dirt and old blood. They descended slowly. At the bottom sat dozens of chairs, all facing a black curtain. Something moved behind it. Tall, wrong. Too many limbs, too many angles. Jalen whispered, "What is that?" The chairs scraped across the floor, turning, facing them. The curtain twitched. Marcus grabbed Tasha's hand. "Don't look." The curtain opened slightly. A brilliant white light poured through. Not warm, not holy, hungry, empty. Tasha shut her eyes. Marcus did too. But Jalen looked. Only for a second. His fear vanished. A smile spread across his face. "It's beautiful." He began walking toward the curtain. Marcus tackled him. Jalen fought back. "You have to see it." Then his head turned. His eyes were gone. Only smooth skin remained. He smiled. "You're next." Marcus grabbed Tasha and ran. Behind them echoed laughter. Jalen's laughter. Bree's laughter. The laughter of the house itself. They reached the front hallway. The portraits were waiting. Bree's face scratched out. Jalen's face scratched out. Only Marcus and Tasha still had eyes. Marcus grabbed a broken board. He smashed his portrait. The house screamed. The front door cracked open. Tasha gasped. "We can get out!" She ran toward her portrait. But before she reached it, the woman in the white gown appeared behind her. Close. Too close. Her hair slowly parted. Beneath it was no face, only darkness. A black hole filled with thousands of eyes, watching, blinking, waiting. Tasha screamed, then silence. Marcus watched her collapse. Her eyes remained open, frozen, staring at something he could not see. The door opened wider. Cold night air rushed inside. Marcus ran. He didn't look back, not when Bree called his name, not when Jalen begged for help, not when Tasha whispered, "I'm still here." He ran through the doorway, across the yard, past the gate, and on to Briar Road. At sunrise, a truck driver found him standing there, barefoot, covered in dust, eyes wide open, blood running from the corners of them. The driver asked what happened. Marcus whispered only 3 words, "What we saw." Then he screamed, and never spoke again. Years later, travelers still pass the old house. Most never notice the upstairs window. But sometimes, on the darkest nights, a light appears, and 4 figures stand watching from inside, waiting, hoping, praying, for someone curious enough to enter. Because some things don't want to be believed, they want to be seen. And what they saw was the last thing they'd ever see again.